Hello, I'm Amy of Groundwater Healing, and I'm here to talk with you today about the summer solstice and how we can celebrate with ritual, with ceremony, and with plant medicine. So, summer solstice, this is the time of year that we honor the light. This is the light half of the year, the moment when the day is the longest, when the light triumphs over this earth. And so in the cycle of the year, we have the light and the dark. They cycle around each other, they come into balance at the equinoxes, and then one takes over for one half of the year. So right now we're in the light and we're celebrating the light. And in the dark half of the year, we'll celebrate the dark. But we're focusing on the light right now and all the gifts that it continues to bring us. So summer solstice. This is the day in the Gregorian calendar where summer begins. In the more historical Celtic calendar or a pagan calendar, summer begins at May 1st, and this is the peak. This is midsummer in those traditions. So either way you want to think about it, we're in the summer. And this time of year is the time of year where we honor the element of fire. And so the sun is the fire, and we're honoring all that the fire brings us. We're honoring the light, we're honoring the warmth, the heat, the joy, just the way that the light allows us to feel. And light traditionally is a more archetypal masculine energy. It's a more external, outward energy. It allows us to connect our world with the world around us. So we're focusing more externally through the summer months. We're focusing on how we relate to the community, how we relate to the earth, the land itself. So these are just the overall themes to be thinking of at this time of year, and some specific things you can do around solstice, around the day. It doesn't have to be the day of, but anytime in the next couple days, you can honor the fire. So building a fire on the evening of solstice or the night before, saying prayers around the fire, speaking your desires for the year into the fire. You can burn if you still have old remnants from the winter. Some people like to burn their Yule trees, their Christmas trees that they've kept, and they like to burn those on the summer solstice as an offering to the fire. But just having a fire and, gathering in community if you can, but also, just on your own or with your family or your loved ones is great. And just celebrating and honoring the fire. You can also do this by bringing candlelight into your home. When the sun goes down on the night of the solstice, you can have candles lit to honor the fire. Another thing I love to do at this time of year is to create earth art. I love to make some sort of creative design. You could call it a mandala, you can call it some altar, whatever it is, creating a piece of art for the earth, for the sun, with found natural objects, with flowers that have fallen off the trees or that you can ask permission from the plants to harvest, to create a piece of art, something that's beautiful. So there is this sense of beautifying, a sense of being in communion with the dance of joy and beauty, and how you can represent that externally. So thinking about that, and then, also making it an offering to the external, to the earth, to the community at large. So taking those themes, you can create any ritual that you'd like based off of those. But one of one of the ways that I like to do it is, again, making that earth altar. And you can set an intention before you do it. You can set an intention for just communing, for honoring the earth, for honoring the sun, for honoring the summer, this time of year. You can offer it as a prayer for our humanity, for our community. There's so much that needs our light and our attention right now. And you can make it a prayer of offering to the community, to a community that really needs our support, the Black community, the Indigenous community, the earth, the animals, whatever you feel really, really called to support right now. So another thing that you can do to celebrate the summer solstice is to wake up right before the sun comes up and stand in a place where you can watch the sunrise. And as the sun is rising, as the beams are coming up over the horizon for the day, just open yourself to receive that light as if you are a plant, just opening your pores to receive that morning light from the sun on this longest day, where it's the closest to the earth, and we can receive the most easily from the sun. So another great little ritual to do in the morning of the solstice. I wanted to talk a little bit about plant medicines. The primary plant that I work with on summer solstice is St. John's wort. Some people call it St. John's wort. But this plant is the quintessential plant of the light. It's been historically used for thousands of years as a protective and magical plant, hung in doorways to ward away evil spirits and to just create protection and blessing in the home and healing. This plant, if you look, it's easy to identify because if you look at the leaves and you hold them up to the sun, there's tiny little glands there where the light shines through. So this symbolically represents the ability to help you receive light, to help you receive the blessing of the light into your body. And this plant is amazing at helping calm our nervous system, just helping us feel into the ease and the pleasure that's possible in life. It targets our solar plexus, this bundle of nerves here at our third chakra, and it helps regulate our digestive system, helps our liver process and move any sludge out, and so helps us internally clear and clean and get lighter. And targeting the solar plexus, it really helps us to really clear away the identities that no longer resonate with who we are deep inside. So it kind of helps us helps us transform the way that we operate in the world in terms of getting rid of, clearing out old belief patterns, old identities that really no longer represent who you are. It's not the true you, it's a part, that you've used as a mask or an image to get through a part of your life, and it's not authentic. And so this is partially why I believe that it works so well as an antidepressant and anti-anxiety, because it really helps you tune into your own light, the light of who you are, and helps you take in the light around you. So St. John's wort is amazing to work with at this time. It grows as a weed all over the country, all over the world. You could see it growing on sides of the roads. Just do a little search and see what it looks like. And you can tell, again, by looking through the leaf at the sun and seeing the little perforations. And also if you squeeze one of the little yellow buds, the flowers, it will turn red. It will turn a deep purpley red. And this is part of why it was considered such a magical plant. It's thought to work with the blood and clearing the blood out as well. But just an amazing, amazing plant. It's a great one to harvest around this time as another ritual you could do. Harvesting St. John's wort right now and making an oil or making a tincture or hanging it in your doorway for protection. Always ask permission to the plants before you harvest, and always leave an offering in return. Another plant that I love to work with at this time of year is Calendula. This is another really abundant plant. It grows in a lot of gardens. It's also called pot marigold. And this plant is just, it's such a bright solar energy. It really helps us open our hearts and allow our heart to move up and to communicate through our voice. So allowing the heart to communicate, letting the heart guide us, letting our heart really determine our words. So it's a very heart-centered medicine. It also brings joy. It really brings joy to your mind, to your energy, to your soul. And so I really like to harvest calendula around this time as well, to make tea, to dry the flowers, and I also use them as offerings throughout the year. So I'll dry calendula right now and then have those dried flowers to offer the plants, to offer the earth throughout the rest of the year when I'm harvesting or when I'm just walking and feel like the earth could use a little love. So that's a wonderful thing to do around this time of year too. So they really hold on to that bright solar energy that you can again just offer back to the earth when the time is right. And one last plant I want to leave you with is lemon balm. This plant is just such a joyful spirit. It grows also as a weed, and it's in the mint family. So it has a square stem and opposite leaves. It kind of looks like mint, but it smells really lemony. If you just rub your fingers on the leaf, you'll get a waft of a lemony smell. And it's an incredibly uplifting plant, as well as really calming the nervous system. So when our nervous system gets overtaxed, when it feels fried, especially with all of the external energy at this time of year, lemon balm is really amazing at just soothing that energy while simultaneously allowing your heart to feel lightened, for you to feel more open, and open and responsive to the beauty around you. This plant is also antiviral, so a great one to have on hand. And so much more. I mean, there's so much more to these plants, and I can only brush the surface. But these are a couple plants to start your exploration of this time of year. So I hope that was helpful. St. John's wort, calendula, lemon balm, working with the fire, creating beauty, creating art, sending prayers to the community, waking up with the sun, really receiving that light internally. These are all themes that you can explore at this time of year. And if you want to go deeper, I do have Sacred Seasons guidebooks. This summer, I go into the energy of the season of the summer. I go into the element of fire, into a personal ceremony you can do, stone medicine, plant medicine, and just a bunch of explorations and action steps you can do. So if you're curious to go deeper into this season, you can head on over to my website and pick one of these up for yourself or your family member. And I look forward to hearing how you will celebrate this season in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you what your favorite thing to do is, or if you took anything from this video and plan to use it. I'd love to hear. So take care and enjoy honoring this season of light and fire.